Wear gloves to handle rabbits, especially adults. To lift an adult out of the cage, grasp it by the shoulders with one hand and put the other hand under the abdomen or butt. Be careful not to catch any toenails on the wire. This is how to carry an adult rabbit. He is tucked next to my body and feels secure. If they don't feel secure, they will struggle and you will get scratched. Young rabbits can be grasped by the loose skin on the back of the shoulders, or by the loin, or cradled using both your hands. Never pick a rabbit up by its ears. To examine, grasp the rabbit by the loose skin on the shoulders. I'm not grabbing his ears here, they're just being held loosely in my grasp. Put your other hand on his butt, and in one easy motion he should be on his back. Some rabbits struggle when they get flipped over onto their back, so make sure they feel secure. Hold them closely to your body. In order to sex rabbits, especially young ones, you need good eyesight and good light. Place your thumb just above the genital organ and apply light pressure to expose the inner surface. The does will have a slit-like opening sloping back toward the tail. The organ of the buck will protrude and appear rounded. Always know exactly who and where your rabbits are. Tattooing is the surest method of identification. Tattoos can be short. This one reads D3, which means she was born in December of '93, or they can be quite involved, like this one. You can come up with your own sequence of letters and/or numbers. Although I do tattoo, I find it easier to name the breeding herd. Each bloodline has a separate letter. For example, one of my foundation does was a Californian named Holly. She was an excellent doe, so I have several daughters in my herd. Hannah is one. Each rabbit has an identifying cage marker. If they get a clean cage, the marker immediately gets moved to that new cage. I don't move my rabbits around, though, so once they get used to a certain location in the barn, they stay there. Fryer cages are also marked. This label bears the names of both parents and the birth date of the litter. This helps you to keep track of weight gain and will also help you to chart the productiveness of the parents. You can identify your rabbits however you wish, but you must always know what rabbit is who and what bloodlines they are from. I breed young does at 4.5 to 5 months of age, and I rebreed does before their litter is 5 weeks old. In the summer, breed in the coolest part of the day, either early morning or late evening. In the winter, breed when the barn is warmest and brightest, usually around noon. I like to breed my rabbits on an empty stomach because I find they are more eager then. I give each doe a check-over before breeding. I'll run my hand over her to ensure that she is in good physical condition. If she feels thin, I won't breed her for another week. This is a good time to check for ear mites and doctor if necessary. Your vet can supply you with a dog and cat ear mite solution. It works equally well on rabbits. I also trim toenails at this time. This job is easiest with 2 people, one holding the rabbit and one clipping, but one person can easily get the job done. Put the rabbit on a flat surface and hold her close to your body. She probably won't resist. I use dog toenail clippers. You will be able to see where the vein ends in the toenail. Ensure that you don't clip that short. If you do draw blood, light a match, put it out quickly, and put the hot end of the match on the toenail. It will cauterize the vein and stop the bleeding. Check the doe's vulva color. If it is whitish, she probably won't be receptive to the buck. If it is pinkish, she probably will want to breed. I'm going to try to breed 5 does today. They all appear ready to breed, but you are going to see firsthand that breeding rabbits isn't as straightforward as everyone thinks it is. Always put the doe into the buck's cage. The first rabbit I'm giving to Sam here is Coco, a virgin doe. She doesn't seem to be too frightened of him, but she keeps getting into the corner. I'll just move her so that she is more easily accessible. Now he is able to breed her. You'll note the buck has serviced the doe when he falls over backwards or on his side. Keep the buck away from the doe for a couple of minutes, then let him mount her again. She gets into the corner again, I move her, and again she gets bred. Now Gus gets his turn. This is a virgin doe, and she doesn't seem to be too concerned about her first time in with the buck either. Gus sometimes gets confused as to which end he should be at and may need a little redirection. This doe isn't going to lift for the buck, so I'll try her again in a few days. Same buck, different doe. This is a mature doe, and she is certainly receptive. I'll let him breed her twice. Okay, Sid, now you're on. This next doe must be watched carefully. If she's not in the mood to breed, she will turn on the buck. This is the case today. Listen to her growl. Okay. If I wasn't holding her, she would definitely fight the buck and probably try to castrate him. This doe is peculiar in her mating habits, and because she is growling today, I know she will probably breed in another 2 days. This last doe is receptive, and the buck gets his job done quickly and efficiently. This was a typical breeding day. 5 does to be bred, but only 3 breedings resulted. Since each doe has had 2 good breedings, I won't put them back with the buck. I will consider them bred. However, if the doe happened to urinate immediately upon being returned to her cage, I might let her breed again in 8 to 12 hours, just in case all the sperm was lost. You must keep track of all breedings, but we'll speak about keeping records in a few moments. If you see a doe at 14 to 18 days trying to build a nest in the corner, she is probably having a false pregnancy. She will scratch in the corner and may even pull fur. This means she has ovulated, but the egg wasn't fertilized. Wait until her nest building activities are over and rebreed her immediately. When the days get short, your rabbits might not want to breed. This is called the winter breeding depression. What you can do for this is leave your lights on for a minimum of 16 hours and raise the temperature in the barn a little bit. The trick is to make the rabbits think it's spring. I also like to add a few drops of wheat germ oil to their feed every day. This also seems to put them in the mood to breed again. It's time to give the doe her nest box. This nest box and pegboard bottom has already been cleaned and disinfected, but I'm going to give it another quick one, just to make sure. I'll spray some Javex water directly on the pegboard. The does don't seem to mind the smell of it. Now I'm going to pack the nest box with straw. I've packed the box with lots of fresh, clean straw. I find that if you make a cave in the straw, the doe will begin to make her nest from there. Give the doe a box, putting it in the corner of the cage that she doesn't use for a toilet. She will probably begin to prepare her nest immediately. Most does love the task of nest building. If she shows no interest in the box, I would suspect that she isn't pregnant, but you'll still have to wait and see. Give the doe more straw over the next couple of days. Much of the straw will be lost down through the wire during nest building. Here's another doe getting her box. Now she's not just sure if she wants to be a movie star or a mother, but her instincts finally take over and she decides to begin making a nest. Kindling puts stress on the does, so keep things nice and quiet and keep strangers out of the barn at kindling time. Prior to kindling, the doe will pluck fur from her body to line her nest. Most does kindle on day 31, and it only takes them about 20 minutes. The doe will sit hunched in the nest box and pull a baby out with her mouth. Then she'll clean it, feed it, and continue with another one. Most of the time you'll end up with healthy litters of between 7 and 9 kits, but there will sometimes be problems. For example, this is the first litter doe that I noticed straining in the corner of her cage. She was a couple of days overdue, and it turns out that she had a large baby stuck. Once she passed this giant, she had 6 more dead babies. I gave the doe a week to recuperate, then I rebred her. I'm confident that things will go smoother next time.